This is the work of loving. I'm Auntie Michaela, and this is Memoirs on Winging It. Welcome back. We're here with our family therapist, Tony Williams, and we're going to get right back into it. Right. Let's talk about generational patterns. So we talk about generational trauma in sessions and how they impact you and shaped who you are and how you parent, and maybe how that kind of rubs off on Levi as well. But what patterns do you see you dispelling? And then what new patterns are you trying to plug into those that you're trying to dissolve?
I think that I've tried to do my best with that, to not wrap Levi up in shame. Kind of let her learn and move through life freely in a way. Something a small way to point that out is like with her dancing. She's always been good at dancing. And from a little kid, she would hear beats and she could isolate her body and she could roll and she could move and she could do things. And immediately people would be like, oh, she shouldn't be, don't make her, don't let her. And I'm like, she's 7.
Yeah.
And she hears a bass line. Mm-hmm. She's just dancing and I'm not going to stop her from doing that. You're the grown up and you thinking that that's sexual is weird. She's just dancing, and allowing her to fully be herself in that way. I kind of lucked out when it comes to her like dressing and things of that nature. She's like a 90s girl. She likes a baggy jean and a cuter, like a crop top situation. Yeah. So I don't really have to, we don't really have too many, goings on about that. I love her personal style, honestly, but it's just trying to allow her to experience things and not shame her. Like, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things. And I don't expect her to be perfect. I know what I was doing. And sometimes what I literally do is when she'll come tell me something, before I crash out or have a panic attack or whatever, I think of what I was doing at that age.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's like, it could be, but she's not doing that. So all right. Exactly. I literally take myself back to when I was whatever age it is that she's doing, whatever she's doing. And I think even that, like you said, the pattern was raising her. I realized that my mom's panic all the time was because she had my oldest brother when she was 16. Mm-hmm. And she was married at 16.
Right.
And so she was always constantly worried about what I was doing because she didn't want me to have that type of responsibility at that age. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I see Levi making moves or making certain decisions in certain steps. And I'm like, hey, you don't even have to live that life. Like, you don't have to carry that. You don't have to step into those spaces.
Right.
Because I've done that. I've lived that. And I try to explain it to her from that perspective and pray that it doesn't backfire. Like, well, you did it. So let me be able to do it. The way that I was raised, it was just don't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't have sex. Don't cuss. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't, my mom was extreme. So it's like, don't smoke weed because next thing you know, you'll be leaning on 3rd and Pine.
Right.
Actual words.
Yeah. She literally always used the crackheads.
And here's the thing. I believed her. So yeah. Then not for
good day.
Not too much, And so I can also be extreme sometimes, but I try to give her realistic things like, you shouldn't smoke weed because you're young and your mind and your brain is still learning how you deal with certain things. Mm-hmm. And if you start taking shortcuts now, you'll teach your body that you have to have those shortcuts in order to get through things. Before I started drinking or doing anything, I had gone through the worst traumas a person could deal with. I lost my mom. I lost my daughter.
Right.
Levi was a twin. And I was completely sober, feeling through all of those things. And I taught myself that we can get through it. Mm-hmm. We don't need anything.
And what did you do instead, too?
I prayed. I talked to God. I tried to figure it out. It's like, why am I experiencing this? Like, what am I getting from this? Like, what am I going to do? And I also leaned on my community. I tried not to stay alone. And my community didn't really leave me alone, And I talked to my friends. Like I said, lean on my community. But that is how I try to teach her things. Like, I know that I can stand 10 toes. I know I can.
Mm-hmm.
I've proved it to myself. I've lived through it. If you start taking these shortcuts at this age, you have not even really gone through enough to show yourself that you can stand 10 toes and be okay without something assisting you through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of just saying, don't do it, this is why.
Yeah. And that's a huge, huge piece that I feel like our baby boomer generation did insert after they said, don't do it.
Yeah.
And so it's giving context to why you don't want us to do something, or why mom may not want you to dibble and dabble in something, versus leaving it to, it was left to our imagination.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see if this eye is hot. When this is high.
Right, that bad. Everybody's still here. It couldn't be that bad.
Exactly. So I think what you said was imperative of the context, giving context as to why you may not want her to do certain things.
Yeah.
As far as context being given in your situations, what do you feel you have taken away from that context being given, right? In hypotheticals, moving with friends, moving with your social circle, just with school pressure altogether?
I would say when it comes to friends, a lot of times I'll pay attention to the way my mom tells me to handle arguments that we may have in our friendships, or just situations. So, for example, I used to block people's. Just like, just straight off.
Immediately blocked.
If you got on my nerves, blocked.
Yeah.
Blinked the wrong way, blocked.
Right.
And I talked to my mom about it too. And she told me, she was just like, stop blocking people immediately. Talk to them about the situation. Make sure that you're trying to understand them. And if it's like they do the same thing over and over again and they don't care, cut. Like now you can block.
Right.
And so I've applied that now in friendships a lot. Like being in high school, I've given people like more chances than I used to give them before. So it's like better now. But yeah, baby steps. But at the same time, I feel like I have a little bit more room to grow, like in that area, because I feel like I've been more cutthroat, and I feel like I can give more grace in some situations. My mom has told me to like give people more grace in some situations. So I feel like now getting older, like, is the time where I should apply it more. Because I just feel like for me right now, it's very like in and out, because I feel like sometimes I just have to cut people off, or it's like I'll give you a little bit of leeway, but I'm still going to pay attention to like actions or patterns that you've done before to make sure that we're not ending up back in the same situation.
Right. So it sounds like your problem solving skills have been strengthened. Is there anything that you want to make sure that teenagers or just adolescents in general are making sure they're like looking out for or trying with their friends? Because I've seen a lot of the cutoff, right? I'm not talking to her because so-and-so, so-and-so. But the so-and-so, even though there was a problem, or you already stopped talking to them? Yeah.
I would say to actually have conversation. Like a lot of times in my generation, people don't really sit down and talk and address the issue. They like to just go straight to, well, this person said this, so I'm going to just keep this with me and know that you said that about me. And then it turns into this like big fight because rumors are going around, but nobody actually takes the time to sit down and be like, I've heard this from somebody, but I want to take time to actually hear what you have to say about it. And because I value our friendship, like I learned that from my mom, literally, like sitting down and being like, I value our friendship. I value what we have. So I want to actually talk to you about it individually because I don't want to lose this. And I think that when I applied that, because at a time, like me and my best friend, we almost completely stopped being best friends. But if we didn't take the time to like stop and have a conversation and talk about like everything we've been through and like what we were doing wrong to each other, we wouldn't be able to save the friendship. And so I think that I've learned that from my mom as well. And I think it's something that like teenagers now need to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's like, have conversations, address the issue, but in a way where you guys don't have to fight, in a way where you know that it's not going to spark up like something different because you know that person and you know what makes them mad, you know what doesn't.
Right.
So don't try to make it a bigger issue unless you don't want that friendship anymore. Like, don't fight for it if you don't want it. But at the end of the day, like, if you want something, you're going to fight for it. So fight for it in the right way, I would say.
I love that. I love that. As far as thinking about what new patterns you may want to build together, because listening to what you're trying to dispel or, throw away in the trash and not move forward with, what are you trying to make sure that is a commonality or norm that your children are taking into their own families in the future as a family pattern? That I'm here. I think them being able to come and talk to me about anything, I try to make it as open as possible. And the thing that I always say to Levi, even more so now, because Aaron doesn't really, but the thing that I say to Levi more so now is like, lean on my track record. Like, don't listen to what things outside of you are saying. Don't listen to what things inside of your head could be saying. Lean on the track record of if you ever have come to me in actual distress and you actually have made a bad choice or did something you weren't supposed to do or was like, there's never anything that you could do that you could not come to me about that I won't make space for. And lean on anytime you've come to me in honesty and anytime you've come to me, even if we've had blatant conversation and I said, don't do this, don't do that, and you went and did it. Come to me and tell me what you did and we will work through it. I want them to have that and I want them to take that with them to their kids because it will help so much. Because if they don't feel like they can come talk to me, then what are they going to do? They're going to go talk to other teenagers.
Okay.
And it's the bottom. We don't want that to, like, in some, some teenagers are great, but I want them to know that, like, I'm always going to be here. Like, there are very few things that I can think of in my mind that I would be like, okay. And I'm sure we all would think those same lies, I'm sure. But that is my biggest, like, I just want them to look back on their childhood and be like, wow, life was lit. And mom really showed up for us. She really created a space where we feel loved and seen and appreciated. Like, that's all. I know I can be tough because I have high expectations for them. But it's just because I know that they're excellent. Like, I tell them all the time, like, if you were a C student, I would accept C's and I would throw you a parade. You're not dumb. You're not a C student. You're a B student, and B is me giving you a little slack. Like, I have this expectation of you because I know that you're capable. And that's just it. Like, I know that you can do that. Like, I know that you can meet this expectation. I know you can meet the standard. I know you can blow past it. So I'm not going to accept their minimum because you're not that. You're extraordinary. And that's just something I want them to take. Like, my family, we call ourselves like a wolf pack. And I'm like, I'm the queen of the wolves. Like, nothing can stop us. Like, nothing, like, you're the baddest. You know what I mean? And I want them to feel that, and I want them to carry that, and I want them to know, like, literally nobody can ever, like, yeah, that's my biggest thing. That's, emotional, because it means so much to me. It means so much to me that they know that I love it, because I do. And you're doing a great job showing that. So you got to give yourself a pat on the back list. Levi, when you hear your mom say what pattern she wants to make sure you take with you, what one sticks out? What pattern sticks out to you the most? Just hearing how emotional mom gets when she talks about what she wants you guys to be able to carry on to the next generation when you have families.
One that sticks out to me the most is her forgiveness. Because she's a very, like, she's just solid. Like, I've noticed a lot that my mom is way more forgiving than like me personally. She's way more forgiving than me. Yes. But like a lot of other people just in my life that I've known like for years, she's been very forgiving too. And I think that people don't think that I can process like what my mom talks to me about or just like certain situations. But it's like, no, me and my mom have conversations and it's like, I'm caught up on like what's going on in the family. It's just because my mom is solid and she chose to forgive you, I'm willing to be okay with you while we're in the same space. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, but like I just admire how forgiving she is because it's something that I feel like is very hard for not just me, but a lot of different teenagers and adults as well. So like I feel like she's doing something that's hard for adults and teenagers, and I admire that.
Okay. Thinking your flowers. How do I feel?
It's nice.
Okay.
Like my brain sometimes, I am not perfect. And I have messed up in a lot of ways, in a lot of relationships. And people have either given me the benefit of the doubt or created space for me to come back or allowed me to rebuild. And so I just try to give the same grace that other people have extended to me. For real, it's like life is hard and we're literally just all trying to figure it out. I want to continue to receive grace, specifically from God. Other people are great, but
Just the one that matters.
yeah, you know, and it's like I try to be mindful of that because it's like, you know, if I'm holding this hard line, like what if you held this super hard line with me and didn't give me the space to grow and figure myself out and experience and dibble and dabble and, you know, lollygag.
Crack a joke.
Yeah. It'd like be a joke. But what would that look like? And what would my life look like? You know? And so I'm grateful that she can see that. I think that sometimes I feel like I'm not forgiving enough because I know, I said earlier, I think like, you know, I can flip a switch. And once I flip that switch, it's quite literally like I never knew you. And so I think for me, I work hard not to get there.
Right.
Because I know that I am as forgiving and I give as many chances and spaces as I do. Because I know once you get past a certain line with me, even if I could want to let you come back into my life, but once my mind and my heart sync up, the Lord himself will have to talk to me in a dream and be like, hey, go ahead and answer so-and-so's text. Because I it's a part of my stubbornness. Like if I have made up my mind, like for real, I'm not doing that, I won't do it. And so that forgiveness also comes with me knowing myself and knowing if I stand at the grave of a friendship or if I stand at the grave of whatever relationship and grieve that relationship and walk away, it's literally dead to me.
Interesting. Not to like stop in your point, but where do you think that stems from? Because I think it's important for us to also put not only context in what we want, the context as to who we are too. Because oftentimes our children don't know how we've been shaped and molded and experienced things and how we show up per se, based off of prior experiences. So where do you think that light switch mold stems from?
You know, I've actually been trying to place that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know where I taught myself that or I don't know where that defense mechanism came from in particular. But I know that it's been there for a while. And I said earlier, like, you know, I tell my daughter, like, you have to know your audience. You have to know who your mom is because that happens it can happen with anyone. And I don't ever want my kid to get on the other side of that because I can still show up, but there will be no like intimacy in relationship. There will be no, it's like, I know I'm your mom. I know I have to make sure you eat. I know I have to make sure, you know, you have everything that you need. But, and I've said to her, like, hey, like, I get teenage hormones, all that, courage girl, butter, I can only handle so many certain things. My heart, my brain will only let me, and I don't want you to get on the other side of that because I've never let anyone come back from there. I don't know how to do that. I haven't gotten to that place of my growth journey.
Right. And that's keeping it real.
And I don't have the tools. Like I've never done it.
I'm working.
And I don't, exactly, I'm working. And I don't want you as my kid to get to the other side of that. And I genuinely don't know how to let you come back.
Do you think that goes hand in hand with trust?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
If you break my trust, it takes a lot. And I'll even be cool. Like, it's not even, I won't even change my behavior, really. I just know,
Yeah, side eye.
girl, whomever, please let somebody else. Like, I'm not about to put, like, I'm not, like, you broke my heart in any way. Friendship, work relationship, what, like, if I feel like I can't trust you, I can't trust you. I start everyone off, and most people are the opposite, but I can meet you today, and I'm going to start you off at 100%. Full trust, whatever. I think you're a great person. And you will teach me, as relationship goes, if you're going to stay at 100% or where you're going to land. And depending on your actions and what you do is where you'll land with me. And if you land too low,
Right.
flood the light on your journey. You know?
Yeah.
My friends laugh when I say that because, like, that's my thing. They're like, well, is she so loud? We'll see you. But yeah.
Okay. Well, Leora, with you hearing that about what your mother's threshold is when it comes to breach of contract and trust and
Right.
what she needs to see, it, how do you earn her trust on a regular basis?
Just by, I would say, doing what I'm supposed to. Like, literally just doing what I'm supposed to, like, starting from the top, like, paying attention to, okay, what did she ask you to do? And why do you feel like she's asking you to do this? Like, I feel like a lot of times before, I would just think about myself and I would just be like, I don't feel like doing that. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to, just kind of like having that teenage mindset that, like, I feel like is a stereotype for like how teenagers think. But just having that mindset, like shifting it to, okay, if your mom's asking you to just get good grades in school, girl, it's so not only you can go to college, but you get a job so you can pay that money for that house that you want. Like, it's not just so it can just ruin your life. Like, looking at it like, girl, she's trying to help you. She's trying to make you get better. And then on top of that, like, how it can help her. Like, if I'm doing good in school, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, she can handle everything that's on her plate without having to worry about her children. I mean, like, obviously she has to feed us. She needs to clothe us and like stuff. But, like, obviously, but besides that, like, knowing when I come home from a hard day at work, my house is going to be clean and I'll be able to just rest in my clean house. Like, looking at it from a holistic point of view, because Mom, you always zoom out. Yes, but always tell me to zoom out and look at it from the whole point of view. So when I started doing that, I feel like that's when I could, I don't know, just make better decisions.
Oh, the maturity is coming. It is coming in.
My friends keep telling me just hold on to 17.
Yeah.
You know, we're rounding that bend.
I'm sitting that's me seeing in here that just as we progress, time and rapport is being built too, and just the communication level, being able to say, hey, I'm trying to right or wrong kind of thing. As far as what do you want your daughter to know? If somebody was to say, what you want your daughter to know? Just in general, that she can take, you know, with her when she gets ready to embark on college, the HBC scholarship, whatever, you know, but what do you want your daughter to know?
It's like, you got it. Like, I tell you all the time, and I don't know if you think that I just say this, but like, you are exactly who I wanted to be. The way you look, you're unbelievably gorgeous, breathtaking sometimes. And when I was in school, I mean, was that girl, but if I was you, like, you literally are everything.
And I say to you all the time at this point, it's you versus you, like, because who? Like every you're little, I've told you, like birthday parties, whatever, there's dance competition. Girl, I don't care if it's her birthday. Don't let her win. Like, I don't care. Like when you were fencing, you know what I'm saying? And you were fencing against all those boys and you were killing, you know what I'm saying? And you're full and you look at me and you're like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, like, yo, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it. You literally have it to be anything. You can be anything. You can be anything. And when I say anything, I mean there's quite literally nothing that you cannot do. There's not a situation. There's not a obstacle. There's not anything that you quite literally have everything inside of you to be everything you want to be. Even if you don't have me, even if from the other side of the country, even if like there's nothing that can beat you. Girl, not even me. I feel like you sometimes like, woo, you did that, didn't you? Because this one is you're me on 10. I say that all the time. You're me on 10. You're me on steroids. Like, I wish, girl. I say all the time, if I was you, bro, you. But yeah, like literally and simply put, like, you got it. Like, you got it. You told me that like you're scared to go to college. But I'm like, girl, I don't know what. Not only are you all those things, but you're fun. You're a ton. You are a ton. You walk into spaces and turn spaces. You went to that HBCU expo. There was hundreds of kids there. You found out, I think, like morning of. Didn't have your transcripts. Didn't have nothing. And I said, what did I say? I said, go there and just be yourself. People love you. And the doctor, the dean of the entire thing, she's posting you on her reels. You're teaching her how to do a dance. You're leading the entire space. You showed up and you walked in and you were quite literally just who you were. And all the sororities were coming to you like, ma'am, what are we, what are we doing? Who are you? Have you talked to? Do you know about? Everybody wanted you to be on their team. And that's because you're that girl. You're really that girl. And I just need you to know that and hold that and carry that. I've been telling you since you were little, all your uncle, everybody, you're the prettiest little girl in the whole wide world. And on top of that, you are brilliant. When you open your mouth, you have something to say. It carries weight. Your energy shifts to rooms. It shifts atmospheres. It shifts so many things. And all you have to do is show up and be yourself. When you made choices, community centers was calling. People were calling me. We love Levi. She's a part of our community. She shows up. She takes care of the young kids. She is loved. She is cared for. We love her. Me and you may get into it and you may be ghetto at home, but baby, the way you show up in community, the way you show up for the people around you, and you're only 16. Imagine the impact you're going to have as an adult. You literally are just putting your toe in life. And you've already shifted the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest knows who Levi is.
Oh, yeah.
Quite literally.
In hearing that, what do you wish mom knew? I've seen a lot of adults that I know. And the way they choose to handle situations, the way that they have opened up to me about their own personal lives. Because you've curated me in a way where adults feel like they can talk to me about their problems. And it just helped me realize how real you are. And how you're like so much so of a woman. At the end of the day, I just feel like you always tell me I'm that girl, but it's like, if I'm that girl, then you're that woman. Mm-hmm. If there could be something higher than that, like, then that's what you are at the end of the day, because it's like, you always talk to me about who I am and just like
how I'm brilliant, all these things, but I think you kind of forget, like, you made this. Like, you took the time to make sure that I could become this. Like, you were the one who pushed through all your situations. And it's like, I know you think that I'm not listening to the stories that you're telling me about, like, different eras of your life, but I'm listening and I learned from it and I respect it and I respect you.